In 1945, Korea was liberated from Japanese rule, but swiftly divided at the 38th parallel by the US and Soviet Union. The arbitrary partition ignored Korea's cultural unity, sowing seeds for future conflict. By 1948, two rival governments emerged, the US-backed South and Soviet-backed North. This division, intended as temporary, became permanent, setting the stage for the Korean War. Families were torn apart, and ideological tensions escalated, foreshadowing decades of hostility. On June 25, 1950, North Korea launched a surprise invasion, crossing the 38th parallel with Soviet-made tanks. Seoul fell within days, triggering a brutal three-year war. The US-led UN forces intervened, landing at Incheon in a daring counteroffensive. Civilian casualties soared, with millions displaced. The war became a proxy battleground for Cold War ideologies, devastating the peninsula and hardening the divide between North and South. After 3 years of stalemate, the Korean Armistice Agreement was signed on July 27, 1953, at Panmunjom. The agreement created the DMZ, a 160-mile buffer zone, but failed to deliver a peace treaty. Over 2 million soldiers and civilians died in the conflict. The DMZ, though demilitarized, became a fortified border patrolled by troops on both sides. The war technically never ended, leaving Korea in a perpetual state of tension. By the 1960s, the DMZ had transformed into the world's most militarized border. South Korea and the US installed watchtowers, landmines, and electronic sensors, while North Korea dug tunnels for infiltration. Patrols faced off daily, with violations met by gunfire. The DMZ's no-man's land became a deadly maze, yet paradoxically, its isolation allowed wildlife to thrive, creating an unintended ecological sanctuary. The DMZ witnessed daring espionage missions, including North Korean commandos sneaking south via tunnels. Defectors risked minefields and gunfire to escape oppression. In 1968, 31 North Korean agents nearly reached Seoul's presidential palace before being stopped. These incidents fueled paranoia, prompting stricter border controls. Yet, some defectors succeeded, like the 1979 case of a North Korean pilot who flew his MiG-19 to the south. In August 1976, North Korean soldiers attacked US officers trimming a tree in the JSA, killing 2 with axes. The US responded with Operation Paul Bunyan, deploying bombers and a massive show of force to cut the tree. The incident nearly reignited war, but also established stricter protocols for DMZ interactions. It remains a stark reminder of the border's volatility and the high cost of miscalculation. The 1980s saw a battle of megaphones, with both sides blasting propaganda across the DMZ. South Korea aired K-pop and news, while North Korea broadcasted Marxist slogans. Balloons carrying leaflets, some offering rewards for defection, drifted over the border. This psychological warfare aimed to sway morale, but also humanize the enemy, as soldiers on both sides secretly tuned in to each other's broadcasts. In 2000, South Korean President Kim Dae-jung met North Korea's Kim Jong-il in Pyongyang, the first summit since division. The Sunshine Policy promised reconciliation, with families briefly reuniting. Yet progress stalled as North Korea pursued nuclear weapons. The summit symbolized hope, but underscored the chasm between rhetoric and reality. The DMZ remained a border of distrust, despite fleeting moments of unity. Today, the DMZ is a surreal blend of danger and tourism. Visitors peer into North Korea from observatories, while endangered cranes nest in the untouched wilderness. Over 6,000 species thrive here, earning it the nickname Asia's ecological jewel. Yet soldiers still stand guard, and landmines lurk beneath the foliage. The DMZ's duality, as both a war zone and sanctuary, mirrors Korea's unresolved divide. The DMZ endures as a Cold War relic, a 70-year stalemate with no peace treaty in sight. Despite diplomatic overtures, North Korea's nuclear ambitions and military drills keep tensions high. The border's rusted barbed wire and aging propaganda posters symbolize a frozen conflict, where the past shadows loom over the future. The question remains, will the DMZ ever transition from a war zone to a bridge for reunification?